As of mid-July 2025, Republicans are deeply split over how to handle the renewed controversy surrounding the Epstein Files. Former President Donald Trump has downplayed the situation, calling the Epstein story sordid but boring, and expressing confusion over why people are still focused on it. He has defended Attorney General Pam Bondi, saying she has handled it very well, and indicating that the matter should be left to her discretion. Trump urged his supporters to move on and treat the story as a distraction from his more important political priorities. Pam Bondi herself initially stoked curiosity by referencing what many interpreted as a client list of powerful individuals tied to Epstein. However, she later walked that back, clarifying that there is no such list and that she had only been referring to general evidence in the case. The Department of Justice and the FBI backed her statement, releasing a memo affirming that no such list exists and that the federal investigation into Epstein and his associates is closed. Despite this, Bondi has faced mounting pressure from both political opponents and right-wing voices demanding more transparency. House Speaker Mike Johnson has broken with Trump's position, publicly calling for full transparency and encouraging Bondi to explain her statements more clearly. He has said the American people deserve to know the full extent of what's in the files, even though he opposed a procedural move by House Democrats to force their release. Johnson is trying to strike a balance between maintaining control over the narrative and responding to increasing public pressure from within his own party. Representative Thomas Massie has taken things further by supporting bipartisan legislation aimed at forcing the release of the files. He's even backed a discharge petition that would bypass House leadership and bring the measure directly to the floor. Massie encouraged voters to put pressure on their own representatives, especially those who claim to support transparency but haven't taken public action. Several members of the House Freedom Caucus have privately voiced interest in transparency, but stopped short of supporting public votes. They prefer to apply pressure behind the scenes rather than risk aligning with Democrats on the issue. This strategy has led to accusations of cowardice and hypocrisy from parts of the MAGA base and conservative media. Prominent right-wing influencers and Trump-aligned media figures, including Dan Bongino, Steve Bannon, Laura Loomer, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, have expressed open frustration. They accuse both the DOJ and the GOP establishment of covering up for elites, insisting that the full truth has not yet come out. Even Nikki Haley has weighed in, urging a full release and transparency for the sake of institutional trust. This internal divide among Republicans is becoming more visible. Some want to move on and minimize the fallout, while others believe the issue is emblematic of a deeper rot in Washington that must be exposed. Democrats are capitalizing on the split, framing it as proof of dysfunction and a lack of accountability within the GOP. As pressure builds from both the public and political activists, it remains unclear whether Republican leadership will allow a full release of the Epstein files or continue trying to manage the situation behind closed doors. What's certain is that the Epstein controversy has reignited a long-simmering culture war within the Republican Party, one that pits Trump-era loyalists against a growing number of conservatives demanding openness and reform.